Hey, good morning, guys. It is a chilly Friday morning here in Texas. Clean shaven. I About 3:30. I knew I wasn't going to go back to sleep, so I went ahead and got up. Did a little bit of cleaning. The kitchen was a mess. You don't need to hear all that. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to touch on this article I found yesterday. Pretty interesting. And before I read this, know that the title doesn't mean that we're going to be here through the entire book of Revelation. We're going to get raptured and in the tribulation, and then we will come back with him during the second advent and set up his kingdom, and from there. So, title of this article was, "We Are the Book of Revelation Generation. Are you ready?" I tell you, my pastor, J.D. Farag, I listen to him every Sunday when I get off work. And I've always agreed with him. He said, technology today best described the technology that's described in the book of Revelation today. I don't think we can last 5 more years, 10 more years. A lot of people might disagree with me, but I think that we are at the door. I think it is very soon, because the technology doubles the last time I've read, technology doubles like every 12 hours. Between digital currency, AI, everything going on, technology, what we have now best describes what's in the book of Revelation. I'm talking about the beast kingdom, surveillance, everything. Let's get into this. All right, this is off of Prophecy News Watch, and the author of it was, I guess it doesn't say, but it's off of Prophecy News Watch, and it is, "We Are the Book of Revelation Generation. Are you ready?" All right. Many people seem to have a fundamental misunderstanding regarding where we are in the grand scheme of things. We are not living at a time of endless peace and prosperity. Instead, we are living at a time of war, famine, pestilence, and major natural disasters. That is so true. We really are living in the end times, and the coming year is going to be filled with crisis after crisis. All of human history has been building up to this last chapter, and it's time to ask if you are ready for what is to come. That's the question. Are you ready? Are you coming with us? Are you going to get left behind to the horrific events, what is the tribulation? I don't think the world really knows how horrific it's going to be. Oh, it's all fairy tales. I've often heard people say, the Bible is mythology, don't you? No, it's not. No, it's not. Because everything so far up to this point has been fulfilled. All right, let's continue. I didn't mean to go off on that rant. I've heard that a lot from people. Oh, the Bible's mythology. It irks me to the core every time I hear that from people. According to the Institute for Economics and Peace, the number of military conflicts that are currently active is the highest that we have seen since World War II. Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, Ethiopia, Afghanistan, Syria, Democratic Republic of Congo, Colombia, and so on and so on and so on. There are up to 56 active conflicts in the world. the highest number since World War II. Moreover, these carry on an increasingly international component, with 92 countries involved in wars outside their borders. These are data from the latest Global Peace Index produced annually by the Institute for Economics and Peace, or otherwise known as the IEP, a think tank that analyzes everything from military investment and the cost of violence to military loss and death in combat in 163 states and territories. Getting the information is a challenge, but it also allows us to compare dynamics. And what we see is a deterioration of peace over the last decade, especially in the last 5 years, says Michael Collins, Executive Director of the IEP. We really are living at a time of what Jesus says in the Olivet Discourse: wars and rumors of wars. In fact, this week there were several more extremely alarming developments. By this time next year, our world will look far different than it does right now. Leaders all over the globe have developed a really bad taste of war fever, Biden, and we are closer to nuclear war than we have ever been before, Biden. Meanwhile, hunger continues to intensify in many areas of the globe. And if you have plenty of food to eat, you should be quite grateful, because there are tens of millions of starving people that will trade places with you in a second. More than half of the people in this nation of 50 million are suffering from hunger. They are suffering from severe hunger. Hundreds are estimated to be dying from starvation and hunger-related disease each day. According to Reuters, every day one woman named Flag walks 2 hours each way just to pick up a few leaves so that she can fill her stomach with the barely edible mush. So every day after dawn, Flag and other emancipated women from the camp make a 2-hour trek to a forest to pick up leaves off bushes. One recent outing, several ate the leaves raw to dull their hunger. Back at the camp, the women cooked the leaves, boiling them in a pot of water, sprinkled with tamarind seed to blunt the bitter taste. Boy, that sounds yummy. For Flag and thousands of others in the camp, the barely edible mush is a daily staple. It isn't enough. Some have starved to death. Camp medics said Flag's mother is one of them. I came here and found nothing to eat, said Flag. There are days when I don't know if I'm alive or dead. And here I complain. I do have some groceries in my house. The other day I spent over $300 in groceries, and they're picking leaves off of bushes to create an unedible mush. That's sad. This is how people are really living on the other side of the planet. Hunger is rising all over the world, but most Americans do not care because it has not affected them. I believe that global hunger will get even worse in 2025. And I am convinced that pestilence, he also mentioned that in the Olivet Discourse, I'm convinced that pestilence will also be a major theme during the upcoming year. Many of us are keeping a very close eye on the bird flu. It has been reported that the number of confirmed human cases in the state of California this year has now reached 31. The California Department of Public Health, otherwise known as CDPH, on November 27th warned residents about a second batch of raw milk on retail shelves that has been tested positive for the avian flu virus, as officials await the results from the latest bulk milk tank testing on the farm in Fresno, California, that produces the products. In other developments, the CDPH reported 2 more infections in dairy workers, raising the state's human cases this year to 31, all but one involving exposure to sick cows. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has confirmed these 2 new cases, pushing the national total this year to 55. Will this be the year? Will this be the next great public health crisis this year? Maybe. Scientists are deeply concerned about outbreaks of the Marburg virus, a new strand of Mpox, and oral pouch. I think that's how you pronounce it. A warning has been issued to travelers over the spread of 3 diseases, including the Marburg virus. It is a close cousin of Ebola that has been dubbed the bleeding eye virus due to one of its symptoms. Marburg, Mpox, and Oropouch, commonly known as sloth fever. That's what Oropouch is. I've heard of sloth fever. I didn't know it was scientifically named Oropouch. But sloth fever are spreading in multiple countries, according to the UK Development of Health site Travel Health Pro. Marburg is a rare but a severe hemorrhagic fever that can cause serious illness and death. The U.S. Center of Disease Control says, adding that there is no treatment or vaccine for it. But if detected early, supportive care with rehydration and symptomatic treatment improves survival, according to Africa CDC. I know that's a lot of people don't want to hear this. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear this, but what is eventually coming is going to be so much worse than the last pandemic. Are you still with me? We also live at a time when we are getting hammered by natural disaster after major natural disaster. There were some 7.0 earthquakes just yesterday in California. Massive earthquakes all along the California coast. In 2023, the number of billion-dollar disasters in the United States set an all-time record, and we are very close to breaking that record this year. With the addition of 3 recent Atlantic hurricanes, North Carolina still hasn't received any type of funding from the government, even though the Biden administration decided to send $1 billion to Africa. And North Carolina has still received nothing from the government. All right, where was I? With the addition of 3 recent Atlantic hurricanes, the U.S. has experienced $24 billion weather and climate disasters this year, a near record number according to NOAA, that is National Centers for Environmental Information, NCEI. On Thursdays, NOAA's NCEI released its assessment of the global climate, including U.S. weather disasters, Hurricane Debbie, Helene, and Milton, and 1 tornado outbreak was added to this year's billion-dollar weather and climate disasters, bringing the total to 24 events as of October. According to NCEI, this year's billion-dollar weather and climate disasters are second only to last year, which had 27 by this point in the year. Needless to say, a lot of people out there just want to hear that everything is going to be rainbows and lollipops from now on. Yep, Trump is in office, so let's drag out the rainbows and lollipops. Trump is in office. Yes, sir. Everything's going to be fine. All right. But that isn't the truth. No, it's not. That isn't the truth. It isn't the truth. The truth is that the times that we're living in are going to be extremely challenging. I guess the author of this wrote a new book called Why. I explain that God has told us history in advance, and that this is extremely powerful evidence for the Christian faith. I have read and I have heard that the Bible is one of the most top-selling books in the last few years. Because why? People want answers. So Bibles are flying off the shelf. They want answers. Maybe there's truth to this Christian thing. Maybe the Christians aren't lying. So they're looking for answers. And they're trying to find it in the Bible. Well, guess what? They will find it in the Bible. Read the book of Revelation. Read the Olivet Discourse. Read Ezekiel 38, where it talks about the Middle East war. Read Daniel. Read Daniel first, then go back and read the book of Revelation. They will find their answers. All right. If you can show someone that God told us very specific things about the times that we are living in centuries in advance, it's going to be very difficult for that individual to ignore the gospel. So many experts are giving us their opinions about what our future will look like. But if you want to know what our future is going to look like, just read the book of Revelation. We are the book of Revelation generation, and there is no other time in all of human history that I would have rather lived in than right now. I agree. This is exciting stuff to me. Yeah, the world is in terrible shape, but guess what? That just means that we're going home soon. We are going home very soon. Okay. Alrighty. Been on the fence? You're looking around and maybe somebody shared this video with you. And you said, hey, listen to this. This guy's talking about what's going on in the world. I didn't. That was a good article. I read that yesterday at work. And I said, I'm going to read this tomorrow on my video. Because this explains to it just a fraction of what's going on in this world. He just touched a very tiny amount of what's going on in this world. And if you're on the fence, and if you're thinking maybe there's something to all of this, maybe those radical Christians, that's what they call us, white Christian nationalists. Yeah. Bigots, racist. No, we love everybody. We don't like their lifestyle, we don't like their sin, but we love everybody. We want everybody to jump on this train, because it is about to depart the station. You look around, and I can't believe we're still here. I really can't believe we're still here. I have to crank up the heat a little bit. It's cold in here. I don't get cold, but it's cold in here. Anyways, you want to jump on the board? If you're on the fence and you're saying, how do I get saved? Acts 13:38 and 39. Therefore, let it be known to you, brethren, that through him forgiveness of sins is proclaimed to you, and through him everyone who believes is free from all things which you could not be freed through the law of Moses. 1 Corinthians 15:3 and 4. For I have delivered to you as of first importance, which I has also received, that Christ died for our sins according to Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he was raised on the third day according to Scriptures. He shed his blood so we can wash our sins in his blood. This is the easiest verse in all of Scripture to be saved. Romans 10:13. For whosoever will call on the name of the Lord will be saved. It is that simple. It is a free gift. It's that simple. You say, Lord, I'm a sinner. I know I can't do this on my own. I know I need your blood. I know that you shed your blood. I know that you shed your blood on the cross, that you didn't have to shed your blood on the cross for me, but you did it out of love. You did it for grace, and you did it for mercy. Without love, grace, and mercy, we would all be going to hell. And I know that, Lord. I know that I'm a sinner. Please forgive me of my sins, past, present, and future. Write my name in your Lamb's Book of Life. I believe in you. I know that you died for my sins on the cross. Please save me from my sin. That's all you need to do. It's that simple. You say something like that, and you mean it, you know it, it's done. And you will never lose your salvation. I hope not. I'm a miserable, rotten sinner. I screw up every day. Look, I'm just an ordinary guy doing these videos. I go to work, I get mad, I get angry. I know I need to control my temper a little bit sometimes. I'm a very patient person, but this job has really tested my patience. But that being said, I am not perfect. I am an ordinary guy, just like most of you. Living this world the best I can. Struggling through life, paycheck to paycheck. Having said, I'm not going to keep this long. I took today and tomorrow off, the last 2 days of my vacation. Hopefully we're out of here soon. I still hope that we're out of here before the end of the year. If not, we'll buckle up, maybe get that extra family member to Christ, because I know that time is very short. If I touch one person in this video, even though I may lose 1 or 2 subscribers every video, that's fine. I'm not for everybody. as I had admitted on my first or second video, I'm not going to be for everybody. If I had 50 subscribers by the end of when I first started this channel, and I was surprised. If I reach just one person, then my job here is done. If I get that one person in heaven that says, hey, it was your video that got me to thinking, even if I had to talk to somebody else, is there truth about all this? Even if my video just pushed somebody to the point of asking questions to their pastor or to a pastor or to a religious or to a Christian neighbor, then I've done my job. As I said, I'm not going to go hitting malls and door to door. I'm not that way. I grew up kind of an introvert. I don't have that many friends. The fact that I've been taught all of this my whole life, I have this whole complete transaction in my head of what I'm going to say. It's in there perfect, but sometimes, like in my lessons, it comes out totally what I didn't want or didn't mean to say. That's why some of my lessons turn out bad, because I try my best. Like my first Antichrist video. Still wanted to rip that down, but somebody said, no, leave it up. But I'm not going to go there. It's all in the past. All right. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. God bless. Love you.